Welcome back to On the Inside. Every Tuesday, we'll be releasing never-before-seen footage and investigations right here on this live show. And today, someone's going to get arrested. It's either going to be me or the bad guys. We're not sure. Joining us in studio today is Cam Higbee and John Cho. They've had a pretty exciting few days, but we've been told that the police are going to show up here any minute. That's right. The cops are showing up to my office here in Florida. We're not exactly sure why. As far as I know, when you get served papers, the papers are served by a process server, not the sheriff's office. But I've been told in Florida it's different. I could only speculate. I don't like speculating. Maybe someone's suing me. Maybe someone's arresting me. So we have citizen journalists in studio today just in case I get arrested. We want to make sure that's caught on video. What are they going to say? I'm just doing my job. I'm just trying to feed my family. I want to make sure we get that soundbite on tape. I love what you guys do. I'm a huge fan, but I'm just feeding my family. I actually want to personally ask him that question. What do you think about this, sir? Well, I can't comment. So today, we're going to bring you the next installment, as promised, of our California fraud investigation. And usually you release the big bomb in the beginning, but we've parsed this out so that we're releasing the most explosive stuff later on in the series, all part of the plan. And I promised you that arrests were coming, and you've told me that's not going to happen. I'm going to prove you wrong, because I know that arrests are going to come. So this story is about California identity fraud, Petition fraudsters using an online database, logging into this database, and then supplying real voter names for forged signatures and streamlined ballot petition payment. Now, you've seen this before, but what you have not seen is where they access these voters, and you actually see them log into this mysterious database. We're going to get into all of that and more. This program is made possible by sponsors we're proud to partner with. Those sponsors are Impact Health Sharing, American Independence Gold, and our latest sponsor, Sat123.com. They offer satellite phones and bags where you can put your phones in them where no one can listen to. That's very useful. Useful things to use, which I actually do use. And each one of those people, each one offers something increasingly valuable in today's crazy world. Access to more affordable health care, a way to preserve wealth through tangible assets, and privacy and communication security in a world where there is no such thing as that. More on that soon. But today we're starting with some startling news. Yesterday, as I was preparing for this video and producing this video, a Palm Beach County sheriff showed up to my office. If we can please watch that again, and I'll provide some analysis on what's going on. So I just had a detective from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office visit our headquarters here. Detective named Angel E. Artola.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be impossible.
No, I appreciate it.
You know, I'm really, but I can promise you, it's not going to jail. It's not criminal. Okay, that I can promise you 100%. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Thank you.
What the heck? I've been served papers 30 plus times. I've never had a sheriff do it or the police show up to my door do it. So a little concerning to my team. Also concerning, nobody's yet been arrested from our recent investigative videos in California, but the police are showing up to my office here in Florida. So we have another video coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. So Detective Artola would not tell us exactly what he was here for. He said, quote, O'Keefe's not going to jail. It's not a criminal act. Now, the police can lie. The guy seemed like a fan. They always seem like fans. My probation officer was a fan in New Jersey when I was on house arrest for 3 years. But kind of transition to today, and he could be here any minute. And when he goes here, you guys will film him, please. We want to make sure we get all this on tape and find out what the hell is going on. Maybe, I don't know if we're going to walk him in the studio or go outside in the area there. We'll figure it out. We'll do it live. So today, we're going to cut away from our report to show that to you, but we are releasing even more evidence to show the world the blatant fraud that is happening on the streets and in our elections. It's become a cliche, hasn't it? We all know about the fraud. But what makes today's report so startling is you actually film over the shoulder of the guy as he's logging into this database. At first, we thought it was a DMV database, some type of California motor voter database. We're not exactly sure. But you can see exactly how these fraudsters are utilizing this database with something called SIG-valid to find the voters' names for the homeless people to forge their signatures. So we take you to the City of Angels in California again to show you who's behind the scheme. Let's roll the videotape. We caught the Petition fraudsters on Skid Row in Los Angeles on video accessing an online database of registered voters.
This is the last name you're going to use. You're not going to use your name. I'm giving you a name to use, but you're going to use your first name.
And giving names of registered voters from that database to the homeless to impersonate those voters and signed petitions in other people's names.
He's finished. Yeah.
Committing felony election fraud and forgery, all for $3 apiece. We showed this footage to disenfranchised voters whose signatures were forged on the petition, and those voters say, throw the book at them.
Now I know not to sign any of those petitions anymore. Yeah, prosecute them, and I'll probably should believe even worse if they've done worse.
Now, because you haven't registered, I need to register you so I can get paid too. I'm paying you guys, I need to get paid.
Cam Higbee and I tracked down Brenda Brown to inform her that she's been committing federal felonies and election fraud. You gave cash for a voter registration form. You know it's a federal crime, right? Who do you work for? Who's giving you the cash?
Join the good guys.
Join us. Be a hero. Blow the whistle on it, Brenda.
I'll talk to you, but I don't want to talk to him.
I'm okay.
You come in, but not them.
Okay.
Without your thing right there.
Here you go. We turn off all recording devices as requested and go inside. I'll be right back. Okay. And using the information she provided to us, we tracked down the people that hired Brenda Brown.
If we do something wrong out there, we should be prosecuted.
Tony Moore, even mentioning the database they were using, SIGvalid.com.
There's a data app that they use too.
SIGvalid.com.
SIGvalid.com.
Want me to tell you what the problem is?
What is it?
We catch people all the time doing fraud. The state does not prosecute. If there's no consequences to what you're doing, it doesn't matter.
Over the past few weeks, my team and I have been undercover in Los Angeles, investigating an elaborate pyramid scheme involving election fraud, ballot fraud, unregistered petition circulators, identity theft, and signature forgery, all state and federal felonies. Well, today, we take you on another level. Deeper we go. We were able to record one of these fraudsters directly in the act of obtaining a false identity for a homeless person to use on a petition, but he obtained it using a mysterious online database. The fraudulent petitioner selects Los Angeles, enters a zip code 90501, and then a generic name, Chris. It is safe to assume that there is a Chris in every zip code, so these search parameters will give him multiple Chris's in the zip code 90501 that he can get this homeless person to pose as on his petition.
Okay, I'm doing here. Chris. First name. I know. Don't worry about it. I'll give you a new name. This is the last name you're going to use. You're not going to use your name. I'm giving you a name to use, but you're going to use your first name. Okay, so the last name will be CASTELLO. Address.
The fraudster reads off Chris Costello's address, which we are omitting from this report to protect that innocent person's privacy. You can see the URL of the website the fraudster is using, online.sigvalid.com. My team attempted to access this site, but we were met with a login page, which begs the question, how did this individual get access to that website? More on that later.
And the zip code is going to be 90501.
The fraudster has now given the homeless person all the information he needs to sign the petition in Chris Costello's name. The homeless man will now forge Chris Costello's signature on the petition.
He finished. Yeah.
The petition fraudster notifies his co-conspirator the man has finished signing all of the petitions, and they proceed to pay him $3 is all it takes in exchange for election fraud, felonies, and forgery. We then went to the address that the fraudster read out from the website to speak to the current resident. His first name was not Chris, but his last name was Costello.
So I don't mean to alarm you. My name is Michael Casey. I'm with journalist with O'Keefe Media Group. We're doing a story on fraudulent petition circulation going on. It's in Skid Row, and your name is actually being used by some fraudsters.
CASTELLO.
Costello, he spells it out there. And then watch. That's your address, right?
Yeah,
So there he is on a database right there, pulling up your name and you torrents.
yeah.
$2 cash.
Okay, so I'm not signing no more petitions in front of the stores now. Now I know not to sign any of those petitions anymore.
So, you can confirm that that's your address, that's your name and everything, and they took it, but that was not you who signed it.
That is my address, my zip code, my city, where I live at. And ever since I've been registered to vote since 1996 until present, I've never been to Skid Row like you asked.
So do you believe, sir and ma'am, that these people should be prosecuted for this, for stealing people's identities and everything and sign this illegally,
Yeah, prosecute them and I'll probably even worse if they've done worse.
Yeah, the governor is now saying he's going to investigate. The federal government's going to investigating it now too.
The old governor or the new one coming in?
you never know, right? So
that's why I said which one, because remember, he might be out of office by this next election.
I appreciate your time, sir. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Everybody be careful what you sign.
Yep.
Because you haven't registered, I need to register you so I can get paid too. I'm paying you guys, I need to get paid. Come on.
You may remember this woman, Brenda Brown, from our previous piece on the scheme. We went to her address to make her aware that we had recorded her in the act and that she was not only violating California election law, but also committing a federal felony. We're in Brenda Brown's apartment complex. That's the individual who paid cash for registration. That's a federal felony, and we're at her door. Hey, Brenda Brown?
Yes, sir.
Hey, may I talk to you for a moment? How you doing? James O'Keefe. No, this is the cash that you gave for registration form. It's a federal felony. It's a federal felony to give cash.
Oh, for them? So what's going on now?
This is you on tape.
So what's going on?
What's going on is that it's a federal crime, and the Department of Justice is looking into this because you gave cash for a voter registration form. You know it's a federal crime, right?
So what's going on? What's going on?
Well, what's going on is I'm a journalist and I published a video about it. That's you, right?
I ask you why you did it.
Why'd you do it? Who do you work for? Who's giving you the cash?
Join the good guys.
Join us. Be a hero. Blow the whistle on it, Brenda.
Come to our side.
Take it off? Yeah. You could be a hero and tell the world who's giving you the cash. We want to work with you.
I'll talk to you, but I don't want to talk to them.
I'm okay.
But you come in, but not them.
Okay. Very good. I'll do that.
Come on. Got your thing right there.
Here you go. Just me, right?
Yeah, come on.
I'll be right back. Okay. Brenda Brown did not agree to speaking on the record, but she did surrender some very interesting documentation to us. Brenda handed us a stack of petitions which she had not submitted yet, and something immediately caught our attention. Under declaration of circulator, Brenda hadn't signed it herself. It was instead signed by a man named Stephen Nelson, along with his address. So we tracked down this Stephen Nelson to figure out why.
How do you know Brenda?
I just met her right outside my apartment. She was just going to the bus stop. And I said, well, I know wait, you make a little extra money doing signatures, but doing canvassing. So we started doing it. But what I didn't know, Chloe, is that she was going downtown Los Angeles around some of the homeless people and paying them to sign the petitions. I never went down there with her. I never knew she was doing that. And it's a little bit my fault because I was supposed to keep a tighter eye on her. because I'm the one that signed off on the petitions. I immediately cut all ties with her. Since they found out about the lady, he said he couldn't accept any more petitions from me.
Oh, I see.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the ones that you've done yourself.
No. Mrs. Brown, she did those, but she is not complete.
So these are all from her.
Yes, ma'am.
Stephen Nelson claims that these petitions were filled out and delivered to him by Brenda Brown. Notice that the declaration of circulator has not yet been signed. This backs up what we noticed on the petitions that Brenda Brown surrendered to us, that Stephen Nelson was signing as the circulator, despite Brenda Brown doing the circulating. This is what Brenda Brown was referring to when she called it all a, quote, pyramid game.
So it's like a pyramid game. If I were to hire you, you would be under me.
Yes.
I'm under him and you under me.
Now, all of this is in violation of multiple California state laws, including Elections Code 104, which specifically refers to the declaration of the circulator and states, quote, each section of the petition or paper shall have attached to it a declaration signed by the circulator of the petition on paper, setting forth in the circulator's own hand the following, that the circulator circulated the section and witnessed the appended signatures being written.
You would sign the bottom of them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know by signing, you're declaring that you observe these people signing? Do you know that you are declaring that you saw this person sign the petition?
I would say 80 or 90% of the time I did.
And did you know that she was also registering people to vote?
Well, when I told her not to do that, but she would come back and have all those the registration forms, and I kept telling her that's too much paperwork, and to make it easier for us not to do that, just get the signatures. I never knew she was doing that.
I see.
As soon as I did, I cut ties with her at Union Station, and I ain't talked to her since.
Another document that Brenda Brown gave us was a paycheck. The paycheck was from a company called One More Petition. It is primarily operated by Tony Moore, the man whose signature is on this check. On One More Petition's business profile, Tony Moore is listed as the only principal employee. So we caught up with him to get his opinion on Brenda's actions.
I wanted to ask you if you have seen the story that was published
Which one?
about Brenda Brown, her right there.
No.
Oh, because she worked for you. Didn't she work for you before? Because I have a copy of a check when you paid her. Brenda,
Okay, yes.
Yeah. She
Yes.
still works for you though, right?
She did. She
Yeah.
hasn't turned in a long time.
Because you know Brenda was paying in Skid Row. There's a video
Yeah, I know. That's why we don't deal with her anymore.
because you found out that she was paying cash.
Can't say that.
Okay.
I can't say anything about that.
Because she was paying $2 to $3 to.
And that is illegal, and she should be fined, and she should be sent to jail. That's my opinion on it.
Yes, Mr. Moore.
If we do something wrong out there, we should be prosecuted.
The journalist then questions Mr. Moore on whether he is aware that the petitioners are not just paying the homeless to sign, but also providing them with fraudulent names and addresses of registered voters, and asks where they might be getting that information.
Some people will go to the roll, actually go down to one of the cities and get the registers roll. Okay, I've
There's
seen.
a data app that they use too. That
Yeah.
seems to be extracted from the DMV.
Correct, and that we use that all the time.
You use it
Oh yes,
for what reason?
to check to see if they're registered to vote.
To vote. And what is that app called? What is that?
SigValid.com.
SigValid.com.
You heard right, Tony Moore names SigValid.com. The same SigValid.com that we caught fraudulent petitioners using to find registered voter names and addresses and then giving them to the unregistered homeless so that they can forge their signatures. Tony Moore goes on to claim that SigValid is open and accessible to the public, which we already know is not true.
And who provides you guys that login?
It's open to anybody.
I've tried to get on it, but I am not able to.
Yeah, SigValid.com. It's open to everybody.
It's interesting because you need a username and a password. I don't have that.
Well, now you need a username and password to get onto our databases.
They were captures on video of them using that particular app.
Sure,
but
everybody uses it.
But they're needing a username and a password.
Right. No, well, I don't. Nobody else does. You shouldn't.
Tony Moore goes on to claim that these petition circulating companies catch their employees committing fraud, quote, all the time, but the state never prosecutes.
I'm very glad if Brenda is doing something wrong.
It's not just Brenda, Mr. Moore.
I understand that, but I'm saying
there's hundreds of others on Skid Row and everywhere.
You want me to tell you what the problem is?
What is it?
We catch people all the time doing fraud. The state does not prosecute. So why should these people care? If the state isn't going to come through and prosecute these people, if there's no consequences, that's why the consequences that we find, when we find something, we put them on the no-buy list, and they can't do petitions in California anymore. They can go to other states and do it. If there's no consequences to what you're doing, it doesn't matter.
Especially now, paying and providing the homeless person a registered voter's name and address.
And that is against the law.
Yes, it is a felony.
It is a felony. But if nothing happens with it.
Now, we happen to agree with Tony Moore's closing statement here. If there are no consequences or disincentives, then nothing really matters. If there are no consequences, then why do we even have these laws? Or do we even live in a nation of laws? Nobody has been arrested yet. I've promised you that arrests would be coming because these crimes are so egregious and so non-circumstantial. It's directly on tape. It's incontrovertible. There must be arrests. Otherwise, we are entering a post-constitutional republic and, frankly, entering a constitutional crisis. There were police officers who visited my headquarters yesterday to give me some type of papers to hold me accountable, but we need to see the people who've committed the crimes and committed the fraud, felonies, misdemeanors, federal felonies. They need to face accountability. And if you've witnessed fraud like this, whether it's on Skid Row or deep inside the government, if you have information, please reach out to us, especially since the Treasury Secretary has announced an incentive for whistleblowers. Perhaps this is the only path forward to make this type of investigative reporting sustainable. That's tips at o'keefemediagroup.com or our tip line on Signal at 914-491-9395. That's 914-4... Police are here. Let's go see what they have to say. Come on in. Oh, there he is. The sheriff is actually... Come on in. Hello, sir.
How are you?
Are you with the police?
I am with the sheriff's office.
How you doing? I'm James O'Keefe.
How you doing?
Are you here to arrest me?
No.
Are you sure?
Positive.
We were hoping somebody gets arrested today. Are you familiar with our work here?
No.
Do you know what we do?
No, I do not.
We expose corruption in the government.
Oh,
we have a
okay.
tape today showing election crimes and people breaking the law. And people in California were forging signatures, and they were logging into an online database.
Gotcha.
That's right. I've been served lawsuits like 30 times in my life.
Okay.
I've never had a police officer show up like this.
This is not a lawsuit.
Oh, what is it?
So, if you want me to put it out there, I can.
Okay. What's the plaintiff?
It's an injunction.
Yeah, you can say who it is. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Just say it out
So
loud.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a temporary injunction. It's out of Miami-Dade.
Who's filing the restraining order? Injunction.
Let me see.
We're here with the sheriff from the police department who's at my office.
Matthew, and the last name, Tyrmand.
Matthew Tyrmand? That's the former board member of Project Veritas. What is he doing?
He filed a temporary injunction out of Miami.
A domestic violence document? The board member of Project Veritas has filed a domestic violence restraining order against me?
Temporary injunction for protection against stalking.
But he said he wanted to kill me. He said he wanted to murder me.
So this was sent down to Palm Beach because it's out of Miami.
Uh-huh.
So because of your Palm Beach address. So what the cases all involved, I have no clue. These just have to be served by law enforcement. That's basically.
Now, this individual said he wanted to murder me,
Okay.
and he said he wanted to kill me, and he said he was an FBI informant, and he wanted to make $100 million. So I should be getting a restraining order against him.
Okay, and you can go to the courthouse and you can do that. Again, this is out of Miami, it's not out of Palm Beach.
They want me to go to court.
So there's a hearing tomorrow at 9:30, and
I have to go to court at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
it's references, this is when the court hearing is.
So just so I understand, the sheriff is here in my office serving me a domestic violence document because the former board member of Project Veritas that we recorded saying he wants to murder me is now making me go to court tomorrow morning. Is that correct?
Well, there is a hearing, okay, tomorrow morning. Again, this is out of Miami, it's not out of Palm Beach. What the details of the case is, I have no clue about.
Well, I'm telling you what the
Miami-Dade-
details of the
Miami-Dade
case
sent it
are.
down to us
Yeah.
to serve you. That's basically.
You guys serve court documents here in Florida? I've never seen that before. I've been sued like 30 times. I get sued a lot because we expose people and on tape so just so I understand what I'm looking at, that's a domestic. It says domestic violence on it. That's what that word says.
Yeah. Temporary injunction for protection. against
Stalking
violence.
stalking violence. That's insane.
Again,
I'm a reporter. I published what the guy said.
I do not know what the details are. Again, it's out of Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
So we just have to serve them. That's it.
This is insane. This is insane. There's a sheriff in my studio serving me domestic violence documents because the board member said he wanted to murder me. What else? So you're going to give me these papers?
This is all yours, right?
Is that body camera recording?
Yes, it is.
May I have a copy of that, please?
I guess you have to go through our records.
I will do that. What's your name?
You have my card. Same guy, Angel Artola from yesterday.
Do you live here in West Palm Beach?
I do.
You ever heard of OMG or Project Veritas?
Never.
Yeah, investigative
Never.
reporting newsroom.
Never.
Have you ever served a domestic restraining order against a newsroom before? You ever serve a restraining order against a journalist?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Sir, I don't
what
sir, I don't
everybody
think you
does.
understand what you're involved in here.
I don't understand. I don't know what everybody does for a living. So I may have served somebody that's.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
well,
not sure.
we're a news organization.
Okay.
There's something called the First Amendment, and it prohibits people from serving restraining orders against us from reporting what they say. It's a pretty fundamental constitutional right.
Again, this is a court order signed by a judge out of Miami. All we're doing is serving it to you.
Well, I look very much forward to speaking with that judge and talking to them.
Perfect.
So what is all this? This
This
is
is all yours.
Okay.
Just, you're responsible for everything that's in the restraining order. Okay, and there's,
Well, thank you for being here, and I will tell it to the courts. I know you're just doing your job, but I hope you watch the video of the man saying he wants to kill me.
I have no idea.
I know. One of the problems in this country is that we're in a constitutional crisis. I'm just telling you my opinion. And we report people breaking the law. We report people doing illegal things, and they're never held accountable. I'm the one who's brought to court. I'm the one who's arrested. I'm the one who's sued. And the American people are just pissed off. They're just upset. And I know this has nothing to do with you. I know you can't say anything. I respect that. I'm just a little upset. I'm a little discouraged. I'm losing hope. And I'm the guy that can't lose hope because people look up to me. But I'm the one who keeps getting held accountable. You understand what I'm saying? Something has to change. Not for my sake, but for our children's sake. You know what I mean? And I know you're just doing your job, and I get it. I understand, but we're entering a constitutional crisis in the United States. And today I've got a police officer bringing me to court. And I got to ask myself, why am I even doing this? Why should I continue? That's the question that I have to ask myself. If it's just going to bring me pain and punishment and abuse. You know what I mean? And I get there's nothing you can do. It's not your job. But here we are. That's where we are in this country. So I hope off the record, we're on the record, but you can't say a damn thing. But one day, go home, go and when you're in your bed, pull up the video of this man saying he wants to murder me, and he kicked me out of the company that I founded, and he worked with the FBI to hurt me, and to stop me from doing what I do. And now he's filing a domestic violence summons against me. So, you know, what else, team? What else should I tell the sheriff who's here, just doing his job? He seems like a good man. Cam, do you have any thoughts? Cam Higbee is here. John Cho is here.
I mean, I'm shocked that you're being served a summons by a person who said he wanted to kill you.
So do I have to touch the papers to be served? Do I have to receive the papers?
No,
You could just put them on the desk here. Anything else, guys?
I mean, clearly, this man who threatened to take your life, James, I mean, he's trying to stifle your reporting. And this is the only way he can try to, because he knows there's no other way to stop you.
Are you willing to go to court with me? Can you guys come with me tomorrow morning? Apparently, I have to go to court in Miami.
We'll be there.
I appreciate that very much. You may have to bring your holy water. You may have to, say a few Hail Marys before you enter that situation. Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Sheriff. Thank you. I'm James O'Keefe. And this is O'Keefe Media Group, and I'm the founder of Project Veritas.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Great day.
Wow. Okay. Live from West Palm Beach. This is live as live gets. A sheriff has just served me some papers for domestic violence. Can you come here, guys? Can you come here? I just want the audience to see what I'm seeing. This is John Cho and Cam Higbee. This is crazy. I've just been served. I'm just going to read this to you. Temporary injunction for protection against stalking violence. And I have to show up to court tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. in Miami because this guy, Matthew Tiermond, the board member who says he wanted to murder me and said he was an SDNY informant. This is a lot of documents. I have to go through all this.
A lot of reading tonight, man.
This is a lot of reading. This is a lot of reading. You're live here in Florida. What do you guys think? I'd like to get your reactions. Can you guys come over here and tell me what you think as a reaction to what just happened? The sheriff just came to my office. Yes, this is live. Yes, guys, this is absolutely live. This is not bullshit. This is actually happening. What do you think, Higbee?
Well, I'm shocked that I've never seen a police officer serve papers like that before. So I'm a little shocked by that part of it. Now I don't know the full background between you and Project Veritas, but if the irony of somebody who threatened to kill you, serving you, calling you in for domestic violence and putting a restraining order on you, I think is a little bit ironic.
Since when did violence equal showing up with a microphone? That's what they're trying.
Is that what he's saying is violence?
I have to read this.
Well, you got to read
it.
You got to read it all tomorrow
by
9 a.m.
I lived it. I know what I did. We showed up to Miami with a microphone and asked him questions. If you're just tuning into this broadcast, the sheriff just showed up to my office on a live show and delivered me papers. It says, in the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Miami-Dade County, petition for injunction for protection against stalking violence under Section 784 Florida statute, the court's jurisdiction, the protective order, blah, 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 federal law. This is a temporary injunction for protection against stalking violence and has been issued without notice. And I'm requested to attend at a hearing tomorrow morning in Miami at 11:30 at the Lawson E. Thomas Courthouse Center located on 175 Northwest 1st Avenue in Miami, Florida.
Doesn't even make sense. Violence is behavior involving physical force. Not, if you're stalking him, that's one thing. If he's alleging you're stalking him, but that's not violence.
Domestic Violence Division, yeah. Miami-Dade County.
Have you gotten into the specifics? Does it actually say?
I'm looking through the document now.
Because I remember that interview. He willingly answered your questions when you confronted him.
I remember crazy. That. I'm trying to read some of the comments. If you're just tuning in, again, this is live. People are saying, this is not live.
No, this is live.
This is live. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is total gaslighting.
They do the same thing on my show.
Yeah, I don't know how to unmute the Instagram. Can you guys unmute the Instagram? Can you do this? I don't know how to do that. Let me just look through this document real quick. We have other news to get to. I've been served lawsuits 30 times. I've never been served a lawsuit by a sheriff. I guess that's Florida law or Miami law.
I've never seen that either.
Domestic violence division. Repeat violence, dating violence, sexual violence, and stalking. This is insanity.
It's crazy.
Just, I want you youngsters, because you're like 15 years younger than me, just to pay attention to what they're doing to me. You're going to have to learn from this and figure out a way around it, because this is what they're going to do to you. Petition for injunction. Full legal name, Matthew Tiermon declares under penalty of perjury, stalking. See here. And there's like 50 pages of documents. There's a notary public here. I have to go through all this later.
I would be interested what the legal definition of stalking is.
Thank you. Did you get the?
You're still live. Sorry.
Okay, we're still live. Did the audio work now? All right, we'll figure it out. We'll be right back with a message from our sponsors. Live, this is James O'Keefe, live from West Palm Beach, breaking a story about people committing federal felonies and state felonies in California, logging into an online database to get people to forge signatures, and simultaneously to me doing that, I get served a criminal domestic violence restraining order by a man who fired me from the company I founded. You can't make this shit up. We'll be right back. My team and I spend most of the time on the road living out of a suitcase. I spent most of the year traveling the country, including internationally on the weekends, exposing corruptions, holding the powerful people accountable from Sweden to Finland to Minnesota to Los Angeles and Davos, Switzerland. And when you live that kind of life constantly on the go, you start paying close attention to your health and the systems that are supposed to take care of it. So let me ask you something. Are you actually happy with what you're paying for when it comes to your health care? Are you one of the millions of Americans who opted out of the ACA marketplace this year because premiums just keep going up? I started looking into this recently because the whole system just doesn't make sense anymore. It's like a pyramid scheme, like a pyramid game, like what Brenda Jones says on Skid Row about giving money to homeless people. See, in this case, you try to stay healthy, you rarely go to the doctor, and yet every year the price keeps going up. So we started looking for alternatives, and that's when I came across something called healthcare sharing. Instead of paying massive premiums to a big insurance company, you can join a community that shares healthcare costs, often at a fraction of the price. That's why I would tell you about our partner, Impact Health Sharing. Members are saving up to 50% on average compared to traditional insurance. Members are saving up to 50% on average compared to traditional insurance. There are no restrictions, no restrictive provider networks, no insurance bureaucrats dictating your medical care, and no profit-driven middlemen. Just a community helping share healthcare costs. If you're relatively healthy and tired of paying more and more for a system that makes less and less sense, you can get a free custom quote in seconds. Just go to impactomg.com. Again, that's impactomg.com. Finally, healthcare that's affordable, transparent, and built for people, not profits. Get a free quote at impactomg.com. When I'm out in the field exposing corruption, meeting with confidential sources, I think a lot about privacy, security, and staying connected when it matters most. In fact, I was just in the field in Los Angeles. I had to go inside someone's home, and no one could hear what I was talking about. I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing or where I was. I put my phone into one of these bags. Remember, your phone is constantly broadcasting signals about where you are and what you're doing. GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, RFID, and all of it depends upon cell towers that can go down at any moment. That's why more people, including journalists in my line of work, are turning to the privacy and preparedness gear at sat123.com, which is where I got this bag. My team carries this bag. I carry this signal blocking pouch anywhere I go. I put my phone inside of it. I zip it up. It blocks cell signals, GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and RFID. And when my phone goes inside, it's completely cut off from the outside world. No tracking, no remote access, no unwanted signals. Sat123 also makes Faraday backpacks with built-in pockets and level 3A ballistic protections. Your electronics stay secure. The backpack itself adds another layer of protection if you ever need it. And when it comes to communication, nothing beats a satellite phone. Satellite phones connect directly to satellites, not cell towers, which means they work almost anywhere, even when networks go down during storms, outages, or emergencies. I actually had my Starlink go down when I was out on the water, and I used my satellite phone. It's good to have both. If you want to protect your devices, your privacy, and your ability to stay connected, check this out. Go to darkbags.com, maybe easier to remember, darkbags.com for Faraday protection gear, and SAT123, that's SAT123.com for satellite phones. I have 2 of them, and I use this bag. And the team at SAT123 is helping us out by providing a nice discount for all of you watching this live show. You can use promo code OMG for 10% off your order. Stay prepared, stay connected, stay protected. Darkbags.com, SAT123.com for satellite phones and these bags. All right, we're back. This is James O'Keefe. Welcome back to On the Inside, probably the craziest show of my life. You just saw the sheriff show up to my office. If you missed that, we'll post the clip for you here today. And we have coming out of a story that we're doing on the ground in California exposing the raw truth, organized fraud, where petitioners are literally paying people $3 to steal identities and log into an online database. We've dropped 4 major reports: Cam Higbee, John Cho, Savannah Hernandez, Anthony Rubin, and others with hidden cameras exposing this. And we're going to talk more about this sheriff and this. I just got this massive stack of documents. Domestic violence. They're trying to put me in jail. Maybe they'll succeed. Maybe someone will go to jail. You know the good thing about jail, Cam, is that you get to read in jail. I get to read books, sure. Get some peace for a little while. You can't make this stuff up. But do we have Nancy on the phone? All right, Nancy, are you there?
I'm here, and I just want you to know, James, you're not alone. I've been served for exposing people on tape, too, not as much as you have. I actually recently just got served in someone's divorce case because they wanted to know what I turned into the police, into law enforcement, for potential crimes they committed. So I applaud your work, and if I were there, I'd be showing up in court with you. I do that as part of my run for governor. I'm showing up people's court cases because the justice system is corrupt. It is a kangaroo system of court in this country where innocent people who are exposing the bad are getting sued left and right. I attend murder trials, rape cases, domestic violence cases, pedophile cases, you name it. I show up in court to support people who are fighting like you, James, fighting.
Have you ever had a sheriff serve you?
I have not had that. I've nowhere live on air. But I've been threatened to be served at public events.
So when you would serve with papers, does a sheriff, does a cop show up?
No,
Usually it's a
never
processor.
seen that before. Never seen it before. Mm-mm.
What are the odds of this? So he hired a sheriff? I mean, I don't know how it works. I'm a little...
State law, every state law is different.
States are different. And not in New York or New Jersey. Police don't show up to your home. The process server will throw them at you. But in any event, I mean... I don't know if you've had a chance to review the latest tapes. We just came out with a tape today. We haven't posted it. But we just played it live, which is they're logging into an online database and giving people the names of registered voters so that they can be impersonated and their signatures forged. We're showing the public exactly how this works, and it's incontrovertible. It's on videotape. And I just wanted to play just the first, guys, I just want to play the first 1 or 2 minutes of the report again for the audience who are just tuning in, and then have Nancy Mace, the Congresswoman, address it. Please play the first minute again, please. We caught the Petition fraudsters on Skid Row in Los Angeles on video accessing an online database of registered voters.
This is the last name you're going to use. You're not going to use your name. I'm giving you a name to use, but you're going to use your first name.
And giving names of registered voters from that database to the homeless to impersonate those voters and sign petitions in other people's names.
He's finished. Yeah.
Committing felony election fraud and forgery, all for $3 apiece. We showed this footage to disenfranchised voters whose signatures were forged on the petition, and those voters say, throw the book at them.
Now I know not to sign any of those petitions anymore. Yeah, prosecute them and Well, probably should be even worse if they've done worse.
Now, because you haven't registered, I need to register you so I can get paid too. I'm paying you guys, I need to get paid.
Cam Higbee and I tracked down Brenda Brown to inform her that she's been committing federal felonies and election fraud. You gave cash for a voter registration form. You know it's a federal crime, right? Who do you work for? Who's giving you the cash?
Join the good guys.
Join us. Be a hero. Blow the whistle on it, Brenda.
I'll talk to you, but I'm going to talk to him.
Okay.
You come in, but not there.
Okay.
We got your thing right there.
Here you go. We turn off all recording devices as requested and go inside. I'll be right back. Well, there you have it, Congressman May. What's your response to that and the latest report where these crimes are caught on tape?
Well, good luck getting anyone convicted or prosecuted or indicted in California. I mean, Democrats have literally written the playbook on how to rig elections. And this is just one more thing in addition to mass mail-in ballots that they did in previous elections. But they have perfected the crime of stealing an election. They perfected the crime of paying people to vote and registering people to vote, voting for them, etc. They've been building this for decades, probably. I mean, to have that kind of an operation that's that good, passing out cash. And I think my biggest question is who's paying for it? Mm-hmm. Is this an NGO? Is this being paid by taxpayers? Is this a nonprofit that's federally or state funded? Where are they getting the money for this? Because somebody's got to pay that bill.
You know, I don't know if you saw, but the state of California did not attack us. They put out a statement saying people should be arrested. Mayor Karen Bass said this is wrong. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, said, they should be prosecuted. But you're a member of Congress. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants arrests. I don't have the power to arrest people. My only power is to make the evidence so crazy that it forces the people. Can you speak about, first, the Department of Justice and your thoughts on what's going on there? I have some thoughts. I can't say much.
Has the Department of Justice arrested anybody yet?
What I've been told is, in part, is that it's hard for them to find good lawyers and prosecutors because the left is in the DOJ, and it's hard to find good, God-fearing federal prosecutors. Do you think that's the reason?
They figured out how to arrest the president of the United States, Donald Trump, but they can't figure out how. My frustration, I probably share some of your frustration, James, is that we all see these crimes being committed. We see people who are defrauding the government, and it just seems like nobody ever goes to jail. I tried to subpoena Ilhan Omar's and her husband's immigration records back in January on the Oversight Committee, because we all know, hey, immigration fraud. And it was Republicans, it was my own party that stopped my subpoena. And so, I have a front row seat to this.
Well, what do you think is really going on? Like, you're a member of Congress. You have some insight. What is going on? I think that there are some people trying to do good. And I do believe this story is so crazy that we'll put the whole thing out. I have faith it's going to lead to arrests. But can you tell us, to the extent that you can, what you've seen there in D.C.? Why aren't they arresting people?
Because they're protecting each other. So if we expose a Democrat for doing something illegal, then they'll trot out a Republican for doing something illegal. It's always a tit for tat, a quid pro quo. And, people are just, it strikes the fear of God, and they don't want to go back and forth. So they just end up protecting each other. And I hate this term, but the term uniparty has been used. But I don't like that. I don't like that language at all.
When you say protecting each other, you mean that if they were to hold the people accountable, they would face repercussions. Correct? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a tit for tat. If you do something to our side, we're going to do something to your side. It's embarrassing for both sides, and the other side wants to do it.
I mean, I'm in the business of holding people accountable, and I've been brutally attacked.
I'm doing the same thing
sued.
in Congress. This is why I have no friends, James. If you were in Congress, maybe we'd be friends, but you would have no friends.
I think maybe you should wear a hidden camera. You don't have to. We'll talk about that.
I'm not opposed. I do have a good wig, by the way. I have a great wig.
I have a good wig too in D.C. The gays love me. Not gay, but we'll do anything for a story. So tell us about the SAFE Act. Do you break the filibuster? And I don't know how that all works. I'm not really into politics, but what's the future of the Save America Act? What's the future of that right now?
I don't think there is a future right now. I know that the president would like to get it to his desk to sign into law, but we just saw Senator Thune and the Senate take off for spring break without getting our TSA paid and without saving democracy. We have a historic opportunity to demand that only American citizens vote in American elections and federal elections at the federal level, because that is our only jurisdiction. We don't control what states do for state or local elections. But we have this historic opportunity to prove that you are a citizen and be able to vote through real ID, passport, birth certificate, etc. And the Senate just refuses to get it done. They've made some progress over there, but they went off on a break without getting the bill to the president's desk to be signed into law, nor to get the TSA agents paid. So it's kind of a dumpster fire over in the Senate right now.
What can Americans do? That's what everyone wants to know, because they're losing hope.
Well, they should call their senator, and they should call Senator Thune's office. I mean, they should be on the operator board in D.C., overwhelming the phones. Don't do it this week because nobody's in session and nobody's going to be around. But the following week, when we're back April 6th, going forward that week, burn up the phone lines, email, honestly, social media. We've seen bills get burned or get passed based on overwhelming support or opposition on social media. So people's voices do get heard, especially when they're embarrassing public officials. It works.
Couple more things. You said you were going to run for governor of South Carolina. Is that a more effective way to make a difference at the state level instead of the bureaucracy in Congress?
I believe I can make a bigger difference. We're almost 7 points ahead. So we have a shot at being in the runoff in about 2 months or so, just over 2 months. I do believe that the government closest to the people is the best route. I've learned a lot while I'm in Congress. I'm a little bit of a cynic and perhaps jaded over the lack of our ability to get anything done. And I'm a policy person, and I love the great state of South Carolina. I'm ready to get back home.
Why is Senator Lindsey Graham at Disneyland?
with a bubble wand or something? What isn't he carrying on?
Yeah,
I don't know.
A wand or some princess wand, or I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure. I've not talked to him. I did see he was out hunting yesterday afternoon, and I said on X I was glad he wasn't at Cinderella's castle. So, the Senate needs to be working.
I mean, I don't even have time to go to the bathroom. I'm so busy. Like, I don't have a life. I'm out there. We're out there. People
you're
are
calling for troops on the ground, and you're at Disney World, in Iran. And I just, it's just tone deaf.
Maybe those members of Congress should go to Skid Row in Los Angeles and take out their phones and record. I mean, that would be impactful. I mean,
it would be, I had my last recess, I went to the Middle East to evacuate South Carolinians. That's what I did last time I was in recess a couple weeks ago. So that would a much better use of our time doing our jobs, helping people, American citizens, when they're in dire need.
I got to ask you one more question. There's so much going on right now. Cops coming to my office, California fraud, Epstein. We can't have you on without discussing that. You've been a huge voice on that. I just have a brief clip I want to play to the audience. Go to 3C 101, please.
I have lost all faith in the justice system today, but I have not lost faith in the stories of the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. This is happening not just to them, but to women everywhere. In my case, I went to law enforcement over 2 years ago. Evidence on a silver platter. Today, not a single person arrested, not a single person in jail.
Much to unpack there. Bottom line up front, what is your message to Americans who feel completely disillusioned with the current state of affairs and how toxic everything has become? How do you get them to keep hope up, and can we turn this around?
We absolutely can turn it around. I have lost personal faith in the justice system, which is why I'm such an outspoken opponent to it, and why I am working to impeach judges and hold people accountable. And quite frankly, James, I shame public officials when they don't do their job. It's now up to us, it's up to the people to have the backs of our citizenry to make sure that they get justice. It means we show up to court when we know that I was in court a couple weeks ago for a murder case, for example, where criminally they refused to investigate it. So there was a civil option, and I went to a civil court hearing, and the half side of the family that had the murder victim was filled up with normal citizens, people showing up for their fellow countrymen. And when you show up to court, judges get scared, and judges follow the law better. Attorneys behave better, and it turns kangaroo courts into real courts. And it's really important that we rise up, we have our voices heard, and we show up for our neighbors and we show up for our community, because that is the only way we can get progress in this country, to do the right thing and get justice for everybody.
Well, thank you, Congresswoman Nace. We'll talk to you real soon. Thank you for coming on and reacting to this. Someone just reposted something that I posted when I was feeling in a despairing moment a year ago. And here's the quote: "If you cross me or lie about me, I will bankrupt you at jury verdict. I litigate all the way to the end." That's how they do it, don't they? It's not necessarily through violence, although that does happen. It's often through financial violence, which is done through litigation. I litigate all the way to the end. I go the distance, even to an appeals court if necessary. I've got nothing to hide, and they have much to hide. I will not settle, and I will never give up. That is my price, and it is a price that I'm willing to pay. And that is the price that we must pay if individuals are to carry the burden. It's a price that must be shared by other people, not just one man. Coming up next is another guy who's doing insanely good work amongst the younger generation of citizen journalists. Cam Higbee, coming up, joins us live in studio in West Palm Beach. He actually live streamed the interview I did with the sheriff. Just last week, Cam Higbee released a bombshell sit-down interview with some of the fraudsters, revealing how this all works. And he's incredibly brave, because he was acting as security detail when there was no security, because it turned into pandemonium on Skid Row. So we're going to talk to Cam and show that footage here of what he reported just after these messages. Impact Health and SAT 123. Now, I just want to tell you, I went undercover in Skid Row in Los Angeles, and what we found should scare you. People getting paid to sign ballot petitions using other people's names. Not a mistake, not a one-off, a system of organized fraud. And they're logging into an online database, apparently. And we're going to have some arrests soon. Don't believe it? Watch. Department of Justice can't necessarily tell you what they're doing, but I can tell you what I'm witnessing. So if something that important can be manipulated that easily, what else can be? It's not just elections. The dollar's losing value every single day. Gas is now $4. Diesel's even more. Inflation's out of control. Wall Street's out of control. Hardworking Americans are getting crushed. That's why we partner with American Independence Gold, a veteran-owned company helping patriots protect their savings. And gold and silver have protected wealth for 5,000 years. Whether you're rolling over a 401k, an IRA, or prefer physical delivery of tangible stuff, they make it simple. And right now you can get up to $15,000 in free silver, and every sale supports the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. So don't wait. Call 844-714-4653 or go to o'keefemediagold.com. That's o'keefemediagold.com. Protect what's yours. That's not financial advice. Always consult a licensed financial advisor or professional before making those investment decisions. And now we're joined with Cam Higbee. Hello, Cam. I'd like your advice, now that you've had to ruminate for a moment, on what just happened with the sheriff. I just want your reaction because you witnessed it live.
I mean, I'm just shocked. I've never seen a sheriff serve papers before. And you said, I just want to read it for myself. Where does it say? It says stalking violence. So I find some issue with this here. First of all, whatever the definition of stalking is in the state of Florida, I can't imagine it's, just acting as a journalist. On top of that, violence, right? Violence, the word is defined as physical force. If you look at the Oxford definition, most credible dictionary in the English language, I can't imagine the legal definition differs from that too much. And last time I checked, acting as a reporter and asking somebody to answer questions with a microphone is not physical force.
Have people ever accused you of violence for asking questions with your citizen journalism?
Oh, yeah. They accuse me of violence all the time, especially because, as we saw on Skid Row, sometimes I'm forced to defend myself or other people, you and your team. And there was one incident in Washington, D.C. when I was on the Fearless tour where a young lady decided to punch me in the face and steal my hat. And as
you were punched in the face?
Yeah, she punched me in the face.
Were you injured?
I was fine. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of used to physical violence against me, unfortunately. But I know when to get my mace ready, and so I've got my mace ready, and she's touching me, and I'm telling her to stop touching me. She eventually stands up and punches me in the face, and my chair is falling over. I was just in a little lawn chair, and I sprayed her on my way down. And she had her hands in her pockets and in her waistband, so I'm like, okay, well, she might have a weapon. She's fallen over, I spray her again. She got a weapon, she's not going to use it. Now, I was accused of violently attacking a black woman in Washington, D.C., and that's something they use against me today because I was forced to defend myself. And by the way, I don't like pepper spraying people, but I am very good at it. So,
is that School of Hard Knocks, or is that you took a course on how to do that?
The School of Hard Knocks, unfortunately, yeah.
So I just want. So we're going to go to this. We were with Cam last week on the grounds of the streets of Skid Row. And speaking of pepper spray, let's play. Oh, we've got a B-roll. We could cut to it. We can talk over it. And this was the guy coming up to you, and there you are, and you immediately pepper sprayed him.
Yep.
So you may have saved our ass.
Yeah,
frankly.
I mean, look, you see, he's violent, of course. I mean, this guy faced off with me. Came toe-to-toe within a couple inches of me when we were back at their tent where they were distributing the petitions. And we were just asking questions, and he comes around from his tent. I think you'll see it right here.
Mm-hmm.
He literally
If we
stands
can
up.
put this on the screen so the audience can see it while I'm talking.
And he positions his body as if he's going to fight me. And then I saw him coming up here, and he's just charging at me. And
slapping the phone out of the hand there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was pretty. Now, do you get? Can we show this to the audience, team? Okay, you see this?
Yeah.
It seems like that one guy with the do-rag is saying, "Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it."
Yep.
And these guys are working with the fraudsters, or what's the relationship? You think?
Which ones? The guys that's holding him back?
The braided guy and the white T-shirt guy.
The guy without a shirt is one of the fraudsters. The white T-shirt guy is working with them for sure. I don't know who the pit stop guy is. I wasn't able to figure that one out. He helped the guy in the white T-shirt after he got pepper sprayed, as well as the guy without a shirt. But those guys are the ones exchanging cigarettes for marijuana. They sit there all day and they just spread marijuana on a little plate and smoke it. I mean, that guy's blasted out of his mind at all times.
And this is organized crime. And what Congresswoman told us a moment ago was that, and I think it's a perfectly rational explanation, that the reason why people are not held accountable is because the people that could hold them accountable are afraid of retaliation for doing so.
Yeah.
Is that your explanation?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I think that would be my intuition for sure. Is there's probably a tit for tat. If one person goes to jail for doing something, maybe somebody else did something similar and they go to jail too. And another thing I didn't even notice about these people is they have like little alcohol shooters all over their table too, so they're drunk and high.
Alcohol shooters.
Yeah, like a little whiskey, buy it for $1 at the gas station, just sitting on the table. Probably see it.
Just to get drunk and high on the same time,
yep.
Basically?
He's got his pot dish right there.
Pot? And that's illegal to give consideration, to give marijuana in exchange for a ballot or a signature on a California petition. Mm-hmm. It's illegal to give $3, $5. And are you afraid of retaliation?
Legal retaliation?
Any retaliation?
Yeah, I mean, I've become less afraid of physical retaliation.
Why is that?
Because I've just been exposed to it so much. I mean, I was almost killed in Seattle, almost killed in Minneapolis. Then we had this incident on Skid Row. I mean, the physical violence against me is just so frequent that I've just become accustomed to it.
Usually people get traumatized by it.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. But, I mean, you saw on Skid Row after the incident, it was kind of just like, I was like, I mean, I'm just used to it.
What do you think that makes you, I mean, we could spend an hour talking and we will, but what makes your Constitution so different that you're not traumatized by almost being killed?
I don't know. I think I'm just so driven to expose these people that it's, I mean, I think every time they attack me, it is an admission of guilt, right? These guys, why would they attack us if they did not fear what we were doing?
Well, speaking of that, I'd like to go to your latest report on March 19th, the day before we were attacked on Skid Row. You put out this tweet or this post. I call them tweets. I guess they're called posts. Put out the post of the Cam Higbee whistleblower, and you were on the phone with whistleblowers, courageous individuals.
Yep.
Their faces are blurred, but you conducted an interview with this whistleblower. And I want to show. We have a clip from this. Okay, let's go ahead and play the clip.
Who is it that gives you guys the money to?
Well, the guys downtown, the guys that It's some guys downtown that does it all yearly. I don't know. They do other stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that got the money and they give it to us.
Are they on the political side, the company side, or the gang side, or?
Well, they're gang. They're gang members, but they're on top of that. This is what they do for a living. So they travel state to state. You know what I'm saying?
The petition stuff is.
Yeah, they say travel state to state.
I see.
So this guy, who is he?
He is somebody at the bottom of the food chain, but not the absolute bottom, because the way I found him was through one of his employees. She sent me a very angry email. She was upset because she saw the fraud ring as a way for homeless people to get money, and I said, okay, you're upset about that, clearly. She's just full of cuss words, the email. And so I said, how about this? And it was really long. And I said, you can join the good guys, do an interview with me, blow the whistle on this, and we'll do a food drive on Skid Row. So the homeless people can still eat, because she was very concerned about the homeless people not being able to eat. And so she got me an interview with her, which is not released yet. It's coming soon. And with her boss, who is this guy. And yeah, I mean, he put everything, they told me everything. I mean, everything was on the table, and it was astonishing.
Well, I think we have another clip. We found out it's actually the middleman contracting companies that are making all the money. Yeah. This is Cam Higbee talking to this whistleblower. In addition to the people we spoke with today, we're going to put all this out. The middleman making the money. Let's play that at 12:30.
It's not the company that's paying.
Go ahead.
Paying everything. It's the middleman company. They're making all that money. You know what I mean? Because they got all of us turned into them. So they're getting filthy rich. Because they're getting filthy rich.
And when you say middleman company, you'll get the petitions that are like building a better California, or whatever the petition is. Not that company.
No, not that company.
The middleman is the one
under them that they subcontract to.
Right.
You know?
So they're the ones that are making.
They're getting everybody's signature.
Yeah.
And it's a few of them. It's a few companies like that. They get they get all these signatures. So you can just imagine.
Yeah.
And lastly, the big bombshell you posted yourself is that the whistleblower says stolen names are provided by the voter registration office. Cam Higbee, along with Nick Shirley and Savannah Hernandez and John Cho, who joins us, hello, John, are doing the work of the FBI. Now, I'm not anti-FBI as much as some people are, and the reason why is because I just think it's the nature of bureaucracies. Like when you get really big, you can't really work quick. I don't think that the people are bad. I just think if I put you as head of the FBI, you'd fail. I think of Cam Higbee because you work so quickly. You recruit the source, you meet the person, you interview them. But let's play this last clip of that. This is SOT 106.
So when they pull the people's names of when people don't have their address.
I have no idea where they get it from.
Where do you think they get it from?
They get it from the registration office. They pay a lot of money from the registration office directly.
The state?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And
the registration office is corrupt as hell.
And they just go and pay money in the registration office? Wow.
But it's legal though. What they're doing, getting it is legal because you can legally do it, but it's a lot of money you got to pay to get the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they can just pull, is it like a voter registration or a DMV or something?
Yeah. No, it's a voter registration office.
Oh, they get it right from the voter.
Straight from them.
Wow.
Yeah. It's corrupt as fuck.
Corrupt as fuck. Wow. How did you get this guy to talk to you?
I mean, his employee did a lot of the work. She convinced him to sit down with me, and he came in. I mean, he walked in with a Michelob Ultra, and he
Michelob Ultra,
a beer.
A beer.
Yeah.
He walked into the interview.
Yep.
With a beer.
With a beer, and he sat down, and we just got straight to it. So I don't know. It was crazy. I just tried to tell them that they can be on the right side of this, and I think he was very skittish. He's very worried about legal repercussions, as he should be. And but he did the interview.
So he did the right thing. He felt it was wrong.
Yep. He said he's not doing it anymore. He's not doing petitions anymore.
And do you believe that somebody is going to be arrested?
I hope so. I don't know for sure. I hope somebody's arrested. I hope it's not these people. If you notice, I mean, you know, if the people at the bottom go to jail too, that's fine. But Tony Moore, you interviewed Tony Moore. What did he do immediately? The first thing he did, he throws Brenda Brown under the bus. Brenda Brown should go to jail. If he thinks he's fooling us, that he didn't know what was going on. He had no idea that they were paying people for signatures and pulling fake names. He's not.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's ridiculous. This guy absolutely knows what's going on. He absolutely knows that not only that Brenda is paying people, that fraudulent signatures are going, or fraudulent names are going around, but also that the other guy, Jeremy Nelson, right? He has to know that Jeremy Nelson is not pulling in hundreds of signatures a day and that he's subcontracting Brenda and fraudulently signing the bottom of that petition, that he observed all of these signatures be signed when he didn't. You know? Brenda Brown collects all of those on her own by herself. We saw at the table that she was caught having people sign it. She was alone.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe the challenge for law enforcement, even locally, is let's assume they are going after these people. They almost need to turn them into confidential informants against the higher ups.
Yes, exactly.
And that takes time. So do you arrest the people right away, or do you turn them into confidential informants? Because those two things are kind of mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly how we're doing it. You find the people at the bottom, the people who are actually out there on Skid Row committing the fraud. You need to find the people who are hiring them to commit fraud. Those are the people with all the money. Those are the people that are instructing them to do it. Anthony Rubin did a great job of doing that for one of these companies, but what people don't understand is it's not just the company that Anthony Rubin found. It's many different companies. All of these people that we've exposed work for different organizations, different petition gathering companies that get their legislation from the NGOs, and then, you know, a million middlemen down below them, all the way down to them. So I find it weird. We live in an odd time where journalists are doing the job of detectives, the FBI, while they sit back and do nothing. I mean, with every case that I've worked on that involves illegal behavior where somebody needs to be put in jail, police are usually willing to work with me, but I have to do all of the detective work. And that was the case too with when I was almost killed in Seattle. I had to do virtually all of the detective work on that case, and it still took months to put that guy behind bars.
I mean, and I asked Nancy Mace this question. I before I answer it, I want to ask you, like, are you losing hope?
I'm not losing hope, but there comes a bit of burnout when you just deal with the same situation every single time and people don't go to jail. You know,
Has anyone gone to jail after what you've exposed?
A couple people have gone to jail, but not many. It's almost, I think it's exclusively people who have done physical violence against me.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I would predict, though, that even if you do get the people arrested, my prediction is half of your comments are going to go, but what about Gavin Newsom? Why isn't he in jail? I think that's probably what the internet is going to say if we accomplish our mission. I'm not reading the comments right now, but I'm assuming that half of them, if we actually get people arrested in this sting, I think people will not be satisfied.
I agree.
I think they'll want Gavin Newsom arrested. And I guess the question is, so they want to put us in jail, and you want to put them in jail, and at some point there needs to be a detente, because it's not really American to just start jailing everybody just because they're not on your team. You have to jail them because they've broken the law, and everyone is accusing everyone of breaking. It's just a weird time, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
strange time.
You need solid evidence that somebody's committed a crime, and I think that's why the California government is.
But your evidence is not circumstantial. It's not circumstantial. The interview with the guy here was circumstantial, but that was just backing up the concrete evidence that you got.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. My advice to you is for what it's worth, is to have the mindset that someone will go to jail because the reality is a reflection of you, not vice versa. So that's my advice. And this is a developing story here today. We're going to be going to a break with our sponsors, and then we'll come back with Jonathan Cho in studio, who just came back from Las Vegas and I think he was arrested. We're all getting arrested here. I'll be in the prison with you. We'll be right back. My team and I spend most of the time on the road living out of a suitcase. I spent most of the year traveling the country, including internationally on the weekends, exposing corruptions, holding the powerful people accountable from Sweden to Finland to Minnesota to Los Angeles and Davos, Switzerland. And when you live that kind of life constantly on the go, you start paying close attention to your health and the systems that are supposed to take care of it. So let me ask you something. Are you actually happy with what you're paying for when it comes to your health care? Are you one of the millions of Americans who opted out of the ACA marketplace this year because premiums just keep going up? I started looking into this recently because the whole system just doesn't make sense anymore. It's like a pyramid scheme, like a pyramid game, like what Brenda Jones says on Skid Row about giving money to homeless people. See, in this case, you try to stay healthy, you rarely go to the doctor, and yet every year the price keeps going up. So we started looking for alternatives, and that's when I came across something called healthcare sharing. Instead of paying massive premiums to a big insurance company, you can join a community that shares healthcare costs, often at a fraction of the price. That's why I would tell you about our partner, Impact Health Sharing. Members are saving up to 50% on average compared to traditional insurance. Members are saving up to 50% on average compared to traditional insurance. There are no restrictions, no restrictive provider networks, no insurance bureaucrats dictating your medical care, and no profit-driven middlemen. Just a community helping share healthcare costs. If you're relatively healthy and tired of paying more and more for a system that makes less and less sense, you can get a free custom quote in seconds. Just go to impactomg.com. Again, that's impactomg.com. Finally, healthcare that's affordable, transparent, and built for people, not profits. Get a free quote at impactomg.com. When I'm out in the field exposing corruption, meeting with confidential sources, I think a lot about privacy, security, and staying connected when it matters most. In fact, I was just in the field in Los Angeles. I had to go inside someone's home, and no one could hear what I was talking about. I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing or where I was. I put my phone into one of these bags. Remember, your phone is constantly broadcasting signals about where you are and what you're doing. GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, RFID, and all of it depends upon cell towers that can go down at any moment. That's why more people, including journalists in my line of work, are turning to the privacy and preparedness gear at sat123.com, which is where I got this bag. My team carries this bag. I carry this signal blocking pouch anywhere I go. I put my phone inside of it. I zip it up. It blocks cell signals, GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and RFID. And when my phone goes inside, it's completely cut off from the outside world. No tracking, no remote access, no unwanted signals. Sat123 also makes Faraday backpacks with built-in pockets and level 3A ballistic protections. Your electronics stay secure. The backpack itself adds another layer of protection if you ever need it. And when it comes to communication, nothing beats a satellite phone. Satellite phones connect directly to satellites, not cell towers, which means they work almost anywhere, even when networks go down during storms, outages, or emergencies. I actually had my Starlink go down when I was out on the water, and I used my satellite phone. It's good to have both. If you want to protect your devices, your privacy, and your ability to stay connected, check this out. Go to darkbags.com, maybe easier to remember, darkbags.com for Faraday protection gear, and SAT123, that's SAT123.com for satellite phones. I have two of them, and I use this bag. And the team at SAT123 is helping us out by providing a nice discount for all of you watching this live show. You can use promo code OMG for 10% off your order. Stay prepared, stay connected, stay protected. Darkbags.com, SAT123.com for satellite phones and these bags. Welcome back live with James O'Keefe on the Inside. Every Tuesday we break a new report, and today we have the most insane show of my life. A sheriff came to serve me I don't know what the hell this is. Can you hand me those papers? Yeah, of course. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a criminal summons. John Cho is in studio. You just saw him. Domestic Violence Division by a dude who is on my board of directors, claiming after he wanted to kill me, he even shot up my book. He put a bullet through the heart. If you look at the papers, that's a bullet, guys. Matthew Tiermond shot up my book with a rifle all alone in Michigan. Nobody's been arrested in this country for anything. But I've just been served criminal papers by the sheriff's office, and that's all on video. It's all live. You will export the video and put it if you missed it. Or you can scroll back in this YouTube stream and see it for yourself. I asked the officer, we're entering a constitutional crisis, and the comments said, well, he's just doing his job. He's just doing his job. You know, I'll tell you a brief story before we get to John Cho. I don't know if the story will enlighten you, but I'm going to tell it anyway. As you can see to my right, it says Project Veritas on the brick. And the man who filed the domestic violence summons, you can't make this shit up, man. Domestic violence? The man who filed the domestic violence summons against me, I have to go to court in Miami tomorrow. Maybe we should summon all the citizen journalists to come to the court. I don't know what you're doing, but I'd love you to come to the court. Bring your holy water, by the way. Bring your crucifix. Say some Hail Marys, because you're going to need it. You know, it's for the board member of Project Veritas. I was fired from Project Veritas 3 years ago, 1 week after exposing Pfizer. Matthew Tierman and George Skakel had investments in a company called Petition that, quote, could be sold to a big pharma like Pfizer. Now, that's circumstantial evidence, but it is interesting that they said that. Tierman also said in the tape that he wanted to murder me, was a confidential informant to the Southern District of New York. He said, which is perniciously all about power. Tierman said he wanted to make $100 million in weaponized money to take down conservative organizations and individuals like me and Bannon and Tucker and God knows who else. So when I was fired from Project Veritas, a number of people stabbed me in the back. This was an organization which existed to expose corruption. But everyone has a price. And if your price is your life, well, that's also a price, isn't it? Most people's price is far less than their life. It's usually like $80,000 or something. Maybe less. Maybe it's $30,000. One of the individuals who stabbed me in the back is someone I've known a very long time. You find out when you expose the corrupt, when you speak truth to power, that people break. People are weak. It's part of our humanity, isn't it? That's the problem that we have right now in this country, is that our souls are being torn apart in this constitutional crisis. One of the individuals who stabbed me in the back was an individual I've known for many years. I hadn't talked to them in 3 years now. It's not Matt, someone else. Recently, a mutual friend asked this individual, who I will not mention by name, why did you stab James in the back? Why weren't you by his side when you knew they were lying about him? When you knew that this is bullshit about black cars and pregnant ladies' sandwiches and absurdities? Why didn't you stand up for him? And their response was, because I have to feed my children. And I just needed the paycheck for another 6 months. Because I have to feed my family. Now, the irony is no one in America will starve to death, at least not yet. I paid this individual $150,000 a year. I think when they started with me, they were making minimum wage at their previous job. So I've learned that the enemy is us. I've seen the enemy, and it's us. Some of you say, well, you told us to go to hell. Well, no, I told you to go to hell because you're doing nothing. And people like Cam Higbee and Jonathan Cho are actually doing something. So if you're going to do nothing, then I don't think you should be criticizing the people who are doing something. I think you should be supporting those people. And speaking of that, those people, now we're joined in studio by Jonathan Cho, also a member of the Citizen Justice League. He released his report a few days ago where he shows the petitioner fraudster pushing him hard to get him to forge a voter signature and sign some ballots. Let's watch this tape. This is 7A 101. Go.
You registered to vote? No. He wanted us to sign these initiatives using other people's names and home addresses.
My name's John.
Don't you put that name. Which is identity fraud, another felony.
Is this right, brother?
When I showed hesitation, listen to what he had to say.
Is it conflicting with your morals?
Did you hear that?
Is it conflicting with your morals?
Since we do have morals, instead of signing, our team immediately notified authorities, including Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta.
They do not have that authority.
They responded by saying this would be investigated.
These people are just continuing the cycle of harm
and suffering on these people so that they can manipulate them for political gain.
Well, great work. And join in the studio. Just tell the audience about what you witnessed and what you exposed.
Well, first of all, it's a privilege to be part of this brand new Citizen Justice League. And, you know, I'm still having to kind of reassess what I just saw. I'm still analyzing the, you know, human suffering on Skid Row, first of all. But then to see these ballot petitioners, you know, gathering signatures, targeting some of the most vulnerable people on the streets. I think that's probably one of the most sinister things that I've seen. But, you know, as for this investigation, it's ongoing. I couldn't believe what I saw with my own eyes. You saw in the video I was approached, you know, very nonchalantly, and these signature gatherers expected me to commit identity fraud and sign someone else's name. And of course, you know, we didn't. And, you know, what we saw was essentially a constellation of other fraudsters on the streets. This wasn't just one block on Skid Row. Skid Row's many blocks. And this has been happening for years.
You even went to visit the voters whose names were forged, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of them, a father, says, quote, "It's crazy because what can you really do?" Let's play this tape and I'll get your reaction.
Several miles away, Sean Chires Cabral is in total disbelief.
You didn't give anyone permission.
No, not at all.
And wants to know how his information ended up in the wrong hands.
It's crazy because, like, what can you really do, right?
In total, we managed to make contact with 7 people, but there are still dozens of other victims whose names and addresses are being used for alleged fraud.
Nice music, by the way. I love music. I'm a DJ, so I pay very close attention to what the music is. So, and then, I mean, I guess I ask you, what was it like talking to these people who have not been there in California? How extensive is it?
Well, first of all, we know Skid Row is in downtown Los Angeles. Some of these names and addresses were in San Bernardino County, about a 2-hour drive away. And it was just, you know, heartbreaking, at the same time demoralizing to let these people know that their names and addresses were being used. But I thought what was so telling was that so many of these residents, after living in California for so long, seeing the fraud, seeing the government waste and abuse, feel as though there's nothing that can be done. Even though we showed them the evidence, even though we showed them that they were clearly being victimized, they wanted to know, where can they actually go? Who is going to advocate for them? And that's the piece. I didn't have an answer at the time as well.
They're victims, and the homeless
100%.
seem to be victims too. And journalism is all about heroes and villains, or you know people being taken advantage of. And it seems like that's very powerful because these citizens are telling you. I mean, they could. What if they wanted to vote on the petition? Their vote's being forged.
Yeah,
civil rights issue.
And that's what they were also concerned about. They said that, hey, what's going to happen when I, vote in November? Am I going to be able to vote? And I'm like, I don't know. So they're like, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you think that arrests are coming after this story?
James, it's been more than 2 weeks now since we've launched this multi-part investigation with numerous talented, independent, journalists and agencies now, and we still don't have any sign of any type of arrest coming, prosecutions, and I think Representative Mace in some ways earlier on your show laid it out best when she said it's all performative and really posturing when lawmakers like Governor Newsom and AG Bonta say, hey, we're going to investigate. Will they really investigate? Where will this go?
Has the Secretary of State reached out to you yet?
No.
LADA reached out to you?
No.
The FBI reached out to you?
No.
DOJ?
Nope. I was expecting maybe a representative from, Mayor Karen Bass's office. This is her city. Would at the very least acknowledge what's going on and give us some context and perspective, but nothing.
I mean, yeah, I have to be careful what I say because I do believe that there are arrests coming, and I hope. I mean, maybe it's going to be me, but at least someone's going to get arrested. I'll get arrested, right? Well, I fulfilled my promise. Speaking of which, I want to get to the last question here about what happened to you in Vegas, but this is the criminal summons that was just given to me. And we do have an address here. Tomorrow it's at 9:30 a.m. We're going to post this. Don't worry. Send out an email to everybody. 9:30 a.m. I'm supposed to be in court in Miami for domestic violence, stalking one of the guys that we published the video on is bringing me to court in Miami. It's a criminal issue. And it's at the Lawson E. Thomas Courthouse. That's at 175. This is a public proceeding, ladies and gentlemen. You can go. It's at write this down, 175, write this down, Kim Higby, 175 Northwest 1st Avenue in Miami. Courtroom 23A. I'm going to say that again. We're all going. If I'm going to jail, I don't believe I'm going to jail, but someone's going to go to jail. It's either me or them. It's either me or them. I'm going the distance. The address again is Lawson E. Thomas Courthouse Center, 175 Northwest 1st Avenue in Miami, Florida, courtroom 23A, 9:30 a.m. I'll see y'all there. You live in Southeast Florida? It's about an hour and a half from West Palm Beach. You could take the Bright Line. We're going to court. That's what it's going to take. Developing story here, are arrests coming? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I believe arrests are going to come. But John, were you just arrested in Las Vegas?
Yes.
For simply filming?
Over the weekend,
This
yes.
is why we call it the Justice League. Cam, you're next. Get ready to do you got to stretch, because when they put you in handcuffs, it's tough on your shoulders. So you got to do yoga. You got to do, you get downward doggy or whatever they call it. Get ready, because you got to put your hands behind your back, and it's uncomfortable. You urinate yourself because you're sitting in the prison forever.
The zip ties are even worse, by the way. I prefer handcuffs, by the way.
I've been shackled. They put the shackles on my legs when I was 25. People don't even remember that. It's ages ago. But you and I you're 45?
Yeah, somewhere around there,
You've been doing this a long time.
Hey, Asian don't raisin, first of all. I like to always...
don't raisin.
But yeah, I've been in corporate media for 20 some odd years, and I made the switch to independent just around 6 years ago. But, I've seen the light now. As you know better than anyone, a lot of the stuff we uncover, the investigations we do, they aren't brand safe. You can't sell, Huggies diapers, or Lipton tea next to what we show on the streets, the raw realities. And, I don't think I'm ever going back.
I mean, there's something, I was talking to Laura Logan about this. There's something lost. Everyone mocks corporate media, but back in the day, in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, at least the corporation could put resources behind you.
Yeah.
And now you get sued, you're done. You declare bankruptcy because lawyers are $1,000 an hour, and you're a millennial. You were born 1980,
Gen X.
Gen X.
Yeah, just at the tail end.
I consider myself old, but you're
I'm your generation, James, kind of in there somewhere.
Kind of when we started in the game, it was different. It was a lot different.
I watched your Acorn investigation back in the day.
2009.
I was like, man, that guy has a legit pimp outfit.
I exposed. We investigated Planned Parenthood in 2007. Yeah. When I started, there wasn't, YouTube didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was 2004. So they didn't even have an iPhone.
And I remember even then, when I was in the newsroom at the time, and I won't say which one I was in, it was a left-leaning newsroom, people intentionally, even though you had the evidence, didn't want to cover that story or talk about it.
Yeah, but they were forced to. But I mean, what Nick is going through right now, and Shirley, I mean, I worry about his safety. I worry about his well-being, because he's changing the world. He's changing the game. I'm concerned they're going to come after him. And I want to be prepared. And I want him to be prepared for it.
I think they already are. And he's had to hire private security.
Yeah.
I mean,
$5,000 a day or some crazy amount of money.
I mean, but this is what it takes now to tell the truth, right? At all costs.
Well, Asians don't raisin. Jonathan Cho. Let's play the clip of Cho arrested. This was on Sunday.
This was actually Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yep.
Let's play the footage. You've had quite a few days.
Yep.
Hey, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this again. We told you twice. Twice.
Do they use zip ties?
Yep.
I'm a journalist, guys.
Hands in front or hands behind your back?
What? Behind my back.
I literally stepped off the sidewalk, guys. What? How was this the rest of the event?
The Vegas Journal Review was snapping my photo.
What are you talking about, guys?
All right. I mean, I have so many questions to ask you, but I mean, I guess I'm going to ask you, a deeper question than a surface level question about the who, what, when, where, why, because everyone else is talking about that on X, is what keeps you going? Because you're 45 years old. You're 5 years older than me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've alluded to this as well, James. I mean, for me, this is personal calling. My faith keeps me
Your
going.
Christian faith.
My Christian faith. I know you're a believer as well. And we go through trials and tribulations, as the saying goes. But I just feel like I've been called to be a truth teller out there, and we you want to live a life worthy of the calling, right, with purpose and meaning, and this is what gives me purpose and meaning each day. And I know that this also applies to you as well, James.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, be careful about you not losing your mind.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest challenge, I would think. What do you do to, is it just faith in Christ, or how do you, it's terrifying to be thrown in the back of a paddy wagon.
It is, and it's sometimes discouraging when, people, in the church also don't necessarily understand and say, oh, don't do that, don't chase that, it's too risky. And you're like...
Why is that?
I think people are afraid at the end of the day.
Well, it seems to me that Christians are ostensibly more afraid than gangsters and drug dealers. How does that work?
Yeah, well, in the Bible it says more than 360 times, "Do not be afraid." Yeah, I mean that was a very clear command.
I was just at dinner last night with a few people. I'm not going to call them up by name, but they were having this exact same conversation where we have more in common with. I'm talking about the fearlessness guys part of the equation, with gangsters and drug dealers than Christians, because it's just the cowardice is just without courage. I mean, courage is the virtue that sustains all other virtues. So if you don't have courage, you can't have faith, nor can you act upon it. And when you're a very special human being as Cam Higbee, so I ask you these questions because it leads me into my final question, which is, what advice do you have for other people so they can follow in your footsteps?
I mean, at the end of the day, even this situation in Las Vegas. First of all, I'm being charged with jaywalking, right? I mean, the circumstances here. I was recording. I was on the sidewalk. I stepped onto the road, which was blocked off. I was stepped on the road for a few seconds, went back onto the sidewalk, and now I'm being accused of breaking the law. And what I would say to people is, at the end of the day, first of all, always record everything you do, but stand on truth. At the end of the day, the truth will set you free. And, that's ultimately the virtue that I stick to each day when I go out, when I do my reporting. I try to be fair and accurate, but also I ask myself at the end of the day, is what I'm seeing truthful and honest on the streets? Mm-hmm. And, in Seattle, I'm a senior fellow at Discovery Institute. I also cover social unrest for Turning Point USA's Frontlines team. And every single day we're met with that, question. Is this the truth, what we're seeing? Because I have to remind myself sometimes when I'm looking at somebody overdosing on fentanyl on the street, I'm like, is this really America? And I still have to show that, even though there are people who say, don't show that.
People say, don't show that?
Yeah. People say, don't show it. It makes the city look bad.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, and in exposing it, it's almost like you're exposing, that you're holding up a mirror to the folks, that you're forcing them to do something, and they don't like you, they resent you for that.
Yeah, and you use this word a lot, accountability. And I think at the end of the day, that's what also, keeps me going as well. There are policymakers, there are decision makers who have allowed the human suffering, the urban decay, the fraud, the abuse, the waste to happen, and we need to call these people out and hold them accountable with the truth.
I admire you. I admire both of you, and I'm not just saying that. I mean that sincerely, and it's people like you that keep me going. So thank you. If you're just tuning in, this has been the most unbelievable 2 hours of my life. I broke what I think is the most important story of my career, and I think it will lead to arrest. Stay tuned for that in the next 24 hours. I'll have an update for you on that. I mean that sincerely. A sheriff has just visited me with criminal papers. I have to go to court in Miami. I'm going to read the address one more time. That's Lawson. I'll post this. Don't worry. In a minute, we'll post it. Lawson E. Thomas Courthouse, 175 Northwest 1st Avenue, Miami, Florida. You're all invited. You guys are invited. Love to have you. Bring your holy water. And multiple videos are coming out showing people in Los Angeles logging into an online database of registered voters and giving those voters to homeless and paying them cash to sign ballots in their name. And also, we talked to the villain when Cam and Higbee went inside her house, talked to her, got the names of the supervisors. We spoke with them. We have done the job. We have tried to help the Department of Justice, and we've given it everything we've got. So, now you know the rest of the story. And stay tuned for tomorrow morning. I'll see you in court. Until next week, this is James O'Keefe with On the Inside. Every Tuesday, 1 o'clock, breaking news, real journalism, the Justice League, the Citizen Justice League. And if you support this, and if you want people to continue, we are a nonprofit organization, Citizen Justice League, part of Citizen Journalism Foundation. That's cjfusa.org. You can donate. You can donate your tax dollars or tax-deductible dollars to that organization. But there are three things you can do in life. You can do something. You can donate to the people who do something. Or you can do absolutely nothing at all. Whining and bitching and complaining doesn't count. Let me read it again. My statement about this frickin' criminal, what is it? Domestic violence. If you cross me or lie about me, I will bankrupt you at jury verdict. I litigate all the way to the end. I go the distance, even to an appeals court if necessary. I got 3 cases in the Court of Appeals. I'll go to the United States Supreme Court if necessary. I've got nothing to hide. They have much to hide. I will not settle, and I will never give up. That is my price, and it is a price that I am willing to pay. See you next week.